The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. Not something you expect to see from the opening kickoff, that's for sure, and they will start at the 40. Wishing he had a mulligan. That's not how you want to start the game.
Not at all, because not only do you give up the penalty and good field position, but it just kills the momentum of your team as you start a game.
Here's Carr to throw. And this intercepted on the first play of the game. Picked off by Justin Simmons. Well, that's tough. You come in here, you dial up that pass play on the first play from scrimmage and get it picked.
And you know, coaches always talk about we prepare for every eventuality. You don't even mention this as a possibility when you dial up that play, right? Instead, they throw a pick, and now they're behind the 8 ball on the road to get things going.
Dallas offense set for this next drive.
Yeah, here we go. What do you think? Where do you think? What do you think?
A first carry for Elijah Mitchell. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Second down and 8.
What do you think?
Now run straight ahead with Warren. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 17 yards on the play there, and the Cowboys have a first down. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far. Running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
They're looking at a 2nd and 8 now from the 10.
Here we go, 47. What do you think?
Play action now, Prescott. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Here's Prescott. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Dak Prescott, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
Nothing like understanding where your escape hatches are as a quarterback. Here he's looking, but he knows he doesn't want to force anything. So when nothing avails itself, he slips past the rushers, takes it right up the middle, and takes it into the end zone.
Brandon Aubrey now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it was all capped off by Dak Prescott, keeping it and taking it in on the touchdown run. 7-0 is our score. Ready for the dynamic kickoff as this one's away. And a pretty poor kick here. It doesn't make it to the landing zone. And that means they'll move the ball out to the 40-yard line. So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Carr. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Micah Parsons showing off that elite athleticism as he gets the sack.
Parsons is clearly one of the best defenders in the NFL. And totaled at least 13 sacks in each of his first 3 years in the league and continues to wreak havoc, as we just saw there.
Yeah, nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. From the gun, it's Carr. Pressure comes, and down he goes. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
On 4th down, Joseph Charlton on to punt. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. 35 yards that time on the punt, and the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Now Prescott. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. CeeDee Lamb is intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You look at this Saints defense. They come into this one way down at number 23 against the run of the NFL.
For some defensive fronts, playing the run is not the priority. It's playing the pass, right? They get upfield, they rush the passer, and sometimes neglect stopping the run. That's something that they have to work on and reverse a little bit. Make sure you play the run on your way back to the quarterback.
On 3rd down, here's Mitchell. And this won't be enough. Stopped a yard short after a gain of 3. 4th down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. Going for it, it's Mitchell. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
There we go. Right there.
They'll bring a tight end in motion right. Dak swinging this out quickly to Lamb. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 7 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown.
And they've gone to him early in this one. I sense a theme, one that I expect to continue throughout this contest.
So from the 37, here's 2nd and 3. In motion, that's Tolbert. Throwing, Prescott. Outright, he finds Tolbert. Even with the good footwork, he'll be stopped just inside the 35. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. They'll try and pick it up with Mitchell. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. The Cowboys at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1. And they were able to get that road victory in the opener. Now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down. Now you look at this Saints defense. It's a unit that has had all sorts of issues against the pass. Dead last in the NFL, number 32 in the league.
And even though that's not the greatest ranking in the world, one thing you can say, they get after the quarterback. They're in the top 10 in the league in sacks.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Well, that's absolutely going to fire this defense up. They made it their mission to deny that completion, and they came through with a nice hit and knocked it incomplete.
Here we go. Like that. Here we go. Go to 54. Go to 54. Wide.
Now Prescott. And incomplete on the deep ball.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he watched that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going. In the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line.
What now? That's it.
Throwing now is Carr. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. Well, this defense for the Cowboys, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And one of the key numbers that I look at after every game, total yards allowed. They held them under 200 yards of total offense, just couldn't sustain much of anything against them. Great job showing them different looks and then attacking.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12. And here's Joseph Charlton now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And a fair catch is called for. He will take it in to give his guys some excellent field position here. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10.
Yeah, here we go. Like that. Wait.
Prescott off play action. And this one too low. Maybe a little over-anxious in the pocket there. He just didn't look comfortable on that throw.
No, he didn't, because it wasn't his normal fluid delivery. And I think you might have had it right. Wasn't really confident with what he saw downfield and almost felt like he wanted to pull that one back.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Prescott from the gun on third. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about. I don't care who you are. 60 yards is a very ambitious attempt. Hard to make even in practice in the best of conditions. And now, worst of all, you give the other guys the ball to start their drive at midfield.
Well, they tried the field goal from just inside of 70 yards. It missed, and now this offense set up nicely in midfield. From midfield, here's Carr. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They'll start following the interception in great field position at the 45. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Isaiah Foskey there on the tackle.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
First down, here's Mitchell. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Right back to Mitchell here. And he'll take this one down to about the 40.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. The Cowboys on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They run over center with Mitchell. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Yeah, here we go. What is it?
On play action, Prescott. That is caught by Lamb. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
On 1st and 10 is Connor. They showed some tough running, but they'll drop him at the 5-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
From the 5, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, here we go. What is it?
Connor up the middle. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Prescott. And this ball is caught by Lamb. Touchdown, Dallas. 2 yards on the touchdown there. And the Cowboys add 6 to their lead. So this offensive unit, yeah, they were solid in the opening week victory, and now they are looking just as sharp here in week 2.
And that's exactly what you want, too, because you want to get better each and every week and really ramp up as the season goes on. I know it's still early in the season and a lot can happen, but this offense, they look like they're going to be fun to watch each and every time out.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Things, unfortunately, continuing to implode here. The interception he threw on the previous drive, of course, led to the touchdown. And that deficit widening a little bit further. 1st and 10. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That stop for a loss made by Damone Clark from his linebacker spot. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. To throw, it's Carr. Gets this complete to Shaheed. That'll go for a gain of 7. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Saints first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
Now Carr locates Kamara on the out route. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Carr going to throw. Over the middle and complete to Shaheed. Now a 2nd and 6. Now Carr again. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Now Carr. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Now Carr. And a completion to Wilson. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Carr now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. The kick by McManus is good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing at the break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit, and it's the Lions who are out in front as they play the second quarter. Jared Goff has a touchdown pass. We'll stay in the NFC North as we head over to Minneapolis to check on the Vikings at home in U.S. Bank Stadium. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting 49ers who are out in front. Brock Purdy with a touchdown pass to Brandon Ayuk. Finally, let's get up to the place they call Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see what's happening with the Packers. And that one all tied. The Cowboys were treated to a fine first half from number 4, quarterback Dak Prescott. He had a touchdown both in the air and on the ground to help push his guys into the lead at the break. The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break, but I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come.
And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. So here are the Cowboys to take over. They played the Browns last week, got the victory in that game, and so far so good as they've got the lead here.
What a way to start the second half. These guys are showing no signs of letting up. They have a chance to take a decided advantage with this possession.
Yeah, here we go.
Play fake. Here's Prescott. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The first play of the second half, a big success, over 30 yards. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Here's Prescott. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, here we go. What do you think?
Trying the right side with Mitchell. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Yeah, here we go. Like that. What do you think?
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That is caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Let's just call it as we just saw it right there, a breakdown defensively. Seems like no one went with the tight end, and no one really did. Had all sorts of space in the middle of the field. Yeah, everyone else was covered, but he was not. Big play results.
Mitchell will score. Touchdown, Cowboys.
And this is where you can't help but think about our friend, the coach, the late John Madden, because this was his kind of football right here. Line them up and let them get after it down in the trenches. And as a running back, you just need that one crease, one sign of daylight. He finds it, and he barrels into the end zone. Touchdown, coach, just like you would draw it up.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Well, now how about this return? And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Saints offense and Derek Carr ready for this next possession. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On play action. Now Carr. He completes it to Olave. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Carr. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. A defensive-minded coach loves to bring the heat, brought the heat there, and it worked out.
And nowadays, all those defensive-minded coaches, for them, it's all about getting the football. I went into one facility, and as soon as you...
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Throwing on 2nd and long. Carr under pressure again, and down he goes again. Micah Parsons able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Carr to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Johnson. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th. Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And they will take over 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. There have been no struggles here for this crew. I mean, they were up double digits at halftime, and they've just expanded that here in the 2nd half.
And it appears there are no answers from the defensive side. I think right now, if I'm the coordinator, if I'm down on the field, if I'm wearing a hat, I've already thrown it. If it's a visor, it's sailed, right? My game plan is down by my feet right now because nothing I've drawn up appears to be working.
Well, he's going to have to find something right now to stop this offense. They work now on 2nd and 9. On the counter, Mitchell. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. Once again, it's Mitchell. This is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. And it's a keeper with Prescott. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
It seems like a short distance, but a yard in this situation, not easily done. So big compliments to the guys up front for creating some space, and especially the guy taking the snap and finding a spot, finding a sliver, an opening, and making it work.
Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Now, this offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. Running the jet sweep as Prescott bats it forward. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Yeah, here we go.
They run behind center with Connor. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 7 yards there and a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 63 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the third quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. So on 4th down, Prescott off, and on is Aubrey for the Cowboy field goal. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 more points tacked on, and this margin getting more comfortable by the minute.
And with the lead where it is, you can actually feel good about field goals. We talk all the time about scoring 6s, not 3s. But in this case, they're just looking to chew up some time and come away with points.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. 3 quarters have come and gone. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Arlington. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. To throw his car. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
And this is a situation where, as a head coach, you're just saying, what else could go wrong? Let's get it all out of our system, please. This has been a sloppy game throughout. The execution has been lacking. A lot of mistakes, both mental and physical.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. And now after that sack, we'll pause here a moment because someone was shaken up on that play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Off the play fake, Prescott rolling to his right. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down. They'll run with Mitchell. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
As a linebacker, you're taught to stay just slightly behind the ball carrier just in case he makes a cutback. But when you find the gap,
Shoot it. And he found it all right. Took it straight into the backfield and made the tackle for a loss.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal.
Yeah! 22!
Once more with Mitchell. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Elijah Mitchell, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys are on their way to a 2-0 start.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Aubrey good with a PAT. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now the Saints coming back out ready to go for this next drive. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Charles, we know that this offense is aggressive. We saw that last drive. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. Then they give up the touchdown. So now you feel like they really need to respond here.
They certainly do, but let's face it. Sometimes when you take that risk, you understand if you fail, a little more onus goes back on your ball club to try and pick themselves back up.
Throwing now is Carr. And that one too wide and incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Shotgun now for Carr. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And the return will stop right around the 25. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Up the middle, here's Mitchell. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18. Second down and 4. Another run with Mitchell. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 92 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described. Manhandling.
And his ball is caught by Lamb. Touchdown, Dallas. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Cowboys continue to run up the score. They lead it big here in the 4th. Now the extra point up and good by Aubrey. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. The Saints again ready to go on offense. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Here's Carr. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. Looking to throw. Carr. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss. Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Back to throw. Carr. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Looking sideline, and he's going to have his man as he was able to walk the tightrope there for the completion. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th.
I think the training and practice broke down on that play because he simply didn't run the route deep enough to get to the first down marker, despite what was a really nice catch and toe tap on the sideline.
Well, that's 3rd down 101. You got to go to the marker, know where it is. The Cowboys offense and Elijah Mitchell set to take over once more. And as we roll through some of the highlights, we see how crucial he's been to their success in this one. When he's in this type of a groove and his offensive linemen are creating running lanes for him, he can really put on a show, and he's done so here. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. A give here to Mitchell. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Backed up here. Tough spot. Needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Now Prescott. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Carr caught. It's Wilson. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
What down?
To throw, it's Carr. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. From the gun now on 3rd down, Carr. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again. Blitz coming, and down he goes. DeMarcus Lawrence able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Now Carr. He lets it go deep for Olave. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, these guys are not going to go out with their tails between their legs. They're going to keep taking their shots until the clock's at triple zeros. But that one, like a lot of others, winds up incomplete.
And that is no good. And they will remain well behind. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here. And really a nice job there to make something out of that run, sidestepping defenders for a pickup of 4. Second down and 6 now. On the handoff, Mitchell. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. And his fine afternoon on the ground continues. That last run going to put him over 100 yards for the ball game. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Cowboys, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they'll drop to 0-2.